Evening, uh, my brother Oriam Kisinga. How are you? It's good to see you on the space. You told me that you were traveling. I hope you are able to speak.
Yeah, Joseph, good evening. Yes, just like I said, I'm traveling and I'm still on the road, and probably maybe I'll reach in 1 hour. But I will keep listening, and I hope I'll be able to respond where necessary. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Honorable Santa Okot. It's good that you're among the first people to join in, and I just want you to click on the microphone sign that is on your phone, so that I am able to see a request from your side to speak, and then I add you to the speakers list, and then you'll be able to speak to the people. It's also a pleasure to have you, Henry Douglas Okwi, of course, the gentleman who is responsible for all our posters. He is already online, and the rest of the team as well. Thank you so much for joining the Northern Baraza. My name is Joseph Omagor, and this is the Northern Baraza, which is specifically meant to talk about the issues that affect the people in Northern Uganda. Today's topic is about GROW, the project. It's been in the limelight for some time. I think there's a lady who brought up this issue very prominently when the president went to central Uganda when he was meeting his voters. And this was one of the key issues. What about for us here in northern Uganda? This is something that we are going to explore. We shall be joined later on by Odira Nansamba. She is the communications specialist for the GROW project in the Ministry of Agenda, and she'll be joining us shortly. Let me see. Honorable Santa, just I've sent you a request. Check your notification. You'll be able to see. I'm inviting you to speak. Just accept that, and then yes, you'll be able to join the speakers list, and then also your mic will be active. Just check on that. I'm seeing a request from someone called Ochira, Stephen Apire. I'll give you a chance at some point so that you from so forth and so. But just in case you are unable to tap on that mic, or you box, and then I'll be. Otherwise, our panel is as usual. We've had Oriam Kisinga. He is on the way, and he will be joining us, and he will be tuned in. He will contribute at some point. We have Mr. Topacho Godfrey, who is a guest speaker today. He is already active, and he will be able to introduce himself. We have the Minister of Gender at Kekwaro Choli Cultural Institution. That's Honorable Council Stella Kijangela Jiri. She'll be able to join us as well at some point. For now, let me give a chance to Topacho to introduce himself, tell us from where he is, and has he even heard about this GROW project? Does he understand anything about this? You're most welcome.
Yeah, thank you very much, Joseph Omago, Kissinger, Honorable Santa Court, and all the listeners. Like you said, I'm Godfrey Topajo, but prominently known as TG Latetlock. I'm actually in Navy, as you know, Joseph. I'm in Navy. And this grow came, I first interfaced with the word grow towards the end of last year in the year when the mayor for Gulu City, Mr. Alfred Okwanga, actually visited that community, and he was actually trying to do a follow-up on PDM. Then he told people beside the PDM, there are other avenues, especially for women, which is called GROW, and he was trying to explain a bit to the women out there. And that is how I got to understand something about GROW, generating growth, opportunities, and productivity for women enterprises. Although when you look at the abbreviations, it can't be GROW, but somehow GROW came in. But that's exactly how it is, and that's how I got to know it. All about women, and then we kind of said, how will the men now benefit? Why is everything about women? And he told us by siphon. By siphon, men will benefit. If your wife is benefiting, then automatically you benefit, the children benefit, and everyone benefits. So that's how I got to know it. Thank you very much, Joseph.
Thank you very much, and I hope that the weather in Navy today is favorable. It's been raining, and I think I don't know how it is in Navy, but for us here in Gul, where I am, it's been dry. I think for the last 2 days. How is the weather that
Exactly the
side?
same. For the last 2 days, it has been dry but cold. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much.
Okay.
And of course, that shows you how extent the Northern Baraza reaches across northern Uganda. Now, let me give this chance to Honorable Santa Okot to speak to us from wherever she is. And then also, the first time I think I came across the Grow project, the verbal one was through Honorable Santa Okot a few months ago. And she was having some activities and also planning others with the women in Pade district. Honorable, you're most welcome. Kindly activate your mic and then speak to us.
Thank you so much. I hope everyone is hearing me well. My name is Santa Okot, a member of parliament for Aru North constituency in Pade district. I'm speaking from Kampala. I'm glad to hear all these colleagues speak on this baraza. Thank you very much, Umagoro, for bringing us together to discuss the issue of GROW. Indeed, GROW is a government program which is for the women. Like the previous speaker had already explained what GROW is, it is supposed to boost the business of women entrepreneurs in our community. And like the word says, grow in an ordinary way, it means something which is already there and it is supposed to develop. So that means this lady or this person should have already a business and just to add on to make it grow to become something which is big. So we as women members of parliament, we were called and inducted upon this through the Ministry of Gender and Private Sector Foundation, who are the lead organization that is supposed to handle this funding. This funding is was given by the World Bank to government of Uganda to be given to women already in business to grow their business. So this is how I got the women, the private sector foundation group to come and train the women in Pader districts. But there are so many other challenges in this GROW project. The amount of money which is given is a lot. To me, it is too much money that if it was organized very well and given to our women who are in business, they would sell and they would be very far. Because the amount of money which was given by the World Bank is $217 million. In addition to $40 million for refugee districts where we have got refugees. So government in its wisdom, instead of taking the money directly to the women, they sent this money to 6 different banks. And these 6 different banks are the ones now to give it to the women. The money that a woman receives, get it in terms of a loan, which is supposed to be given back within a year at 10%. That is the loan. But it is so much complicated that when this money was given to Ministry of Gender, there was no proper training to the women on how they should organize themselves, the business program. For example, if you want women to do good business, you have to train them on business skills. All these were not done. So money was just dumped into the different banks, and it became a lot of problem to the women. For example, if you look at it very keenly, if you read through the program, some of the money was supposed to go for mindset change, and these were all not done. Even when I invited private sector foundation to come and train the women in Pade, the training was done in a rush, and women could not understand clearly what they are supposed to do, because the whole of Aru North, with 14 sub-counties, were given only 2 days. So that means 7 sub-counties were brought in one place, and another 7 sub-counties were taken to the other place for the training. And these, some of the women are illiterate, slow learners. They could not pick and internalize how they should apply for the money and how they should utilize the money. As I talk now, I don't want even to say it is a success story in Pade. So after all this, after a year, because this funding was given in 2022, when it was given in 2022, it is supposed to take only 5 years. By 2027, it should be winding up. So when this funding was given, it delayed in the hands of the Ministry of Gender, because that is the ministry it went through. For 2 years, they are not given the money. So they started giving out the money in 2023 towards the end. That was already 2 years off. So if I am to say something, I would just say, as far as northern Uganda is concerned, and I believe including West Nile, Lango, and maybe part of Karamoja, this is not going to be a game changer. This is not going to be a success story. Because in the training, they say, unless your business is 4 million and above, unless you have a business where in the commodities you already have 4 million and above, you are not supposed to get that money. So that means most of our women fail to get the money. Number 2 of the thing is that you have to put their security or collateral in order to allow you to get the money. You have to put land title, you have to put maybe a house, a car, or maybe motorcycle, and this and that. And as you know, most of our women in northern Uganda, they don't own properties. They don't own land. So it became very, very difficult for the women to succeed in getting it. Very few people have really succeeded. When we sat in the meeting, when the Minister of Gender called all the women MPs to give the report of the 1 year that they had already given up the money, we found out that the women in Kampala, Wakiso, the 3,000 women had already got. Kampala City, over 5,000. And then when we came to northern Uganda, Kidgum, it was 6 women. Lamore, I think 3. Noya, I don't know, it was 6. The whole of Gulu City was only 30 women who had got the money. That was by last year, by around October. So you can see that the majority of the women in northern Uganda, because of their difficulties and problems that may be the war effect and so forth, their businesses are not well arranged. So that means they will fail to get the money. Funny, let me tell you what took place in Pade. In Pade last year, when they did the training, Centenary Bank came there and talked to the people and told the women that when you open your account, they will come and visit your business. After training the women that those whose business does not have 4 million in it, the commodities they have is not 4 million and above, they will not get the money. Later on, they came and collected money from all the women, whether you have business or you don't have business. To make it fun enough, they took the women's money for opening accounts, and they did not deposit the money into the account. 7 months down the road, women started asking me, we have not got account, we have not got. I said, what are you talking about? You go to maybe urgent banking and you get back your 10,000 because they collected your money, they knew you did not have the money. 7 years down the road, today as I talk, is when Centenary Bank is refunding back the women's money, the 10,000 they collected. Because when you train women that unless your commodity has 4 million and above, then you go to collect money from a vegetable seller, tomato seller, or even the one who doesn't even have the tomatoes. So when I complain, then today, after 7 months, they're returning the 10,000. Imagine that. So in a nutshell, GROW project is not going to help our rural women in northern Uganda. Even our women in business who don't have collateral will not even get the money. Let me stop there. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you so much, Honorable. And of course, that gives us at least a background of what exactly has been happening. And it's also surprising that 2 years down the road, the money was actually now being, rolled out to the beneficiaries. We are lucky that now we are joined by the communications specialist on this project. That's the GROW project. And please, Madam Odira, kindly unmute and introduce yourself to the speakers. And then at some point, we shall give you a chance to address some of the issues that you will have had.
Thank you so much, Joseph, for having me. It's a pleasure. My name is Nansamba Odira, and I'm the communications specialist for the GROW project at the Ministry of Gender, Labor and Social Development. Thank you.
Thank you very much. In the same breath, let me give a chance to Honorable Council Stella Kijange, our dear panelist, to introduce herself and then also tell us where she is and whether she is familiar with this GROW project.
Thank you very much, Joseph. Thank you, everyone in this space. Thank you, Honorable Santa, my sister Nansamba, and everyone available here. Yeah, yet to be a beneficiary of GROW project. I've applied, awaiting the outcome. Thank you very much. My name is Stella Kijai, Minister for Gender, Youth and Culture at Kekwara, Chole.
Thank you so much. I just want to take you on from where you've stopped. You've applied. When did you apply? What challenges did you meet along the way?
I am interested in listening to the communication specialist to sensitize me more about the GROW project. I've listened to Honorable Santa Okot, and the challenges she has been highlighting are similar with what I also went through. But as a woman, as a fairly empowered woman, I may afford the 4 million. But what about this woman selling silverfish, this woman selling boar deep down in Ongolo? Will she be able to afford it? So in my presentation, I think I'll highlight the challenges I see with GROW and what we can do to make sure that GROW benefits the rural woman. If the vision or the vision for the objective of GROW is to empower women, then they should also understand that about 70% of women in Uganda are not empowered. 70% of women in Uganda do not own property. Honorable Santa can bear me witness. You pass good laws in parliament, but these laws are not implemented. Majority of women do not own property in their own name, starting from land, starting from the collateral that you need. So I am very much interested in listening to the communication specialist on Women's Parliament, which was organized about last month. The uproar in Parliament was on GROW, and then the Minister for Gender did respond to us in a way that confused the entire members who attended then. She said, GROW project is for the wealthy women. That was the communication she made. It means these are women who are now able to borrow and pay back, not women who cannot borrow. So sincerely speaking, if we are to help the majority women who are vulnerable, this GROW project is not for us. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much. And I think we will still continue to raise the dust so that Odira can take more notes. Let me cross over to the gentleman because I know decisions concerning money coming into the family, loans made by two people. Polymath, Mr. Topacho Godfrey, from your own point of view, you've had the explanation given by the Honorable Santa Okot concerning those vulnerable women down there. Their money was collected at some point, and then it looked like it was not, being utilized in the proper way. And then also, training was done, and then as it is sometimes in our country here, the training was done, and then nothing was done after that. Let me hear from your yes.
Thank you, Joseph. I think as a guest speaker, I'd made something. I'm going to give a brief background on my communications before I come to the specificity, the questions that you asked. I'm going to try as much as possible to summarize. Okay. Now, I actually this group greeted me with a lot of excitement until when the first testimonies are actually very negative, especially from the woman MP. I mean, from the MP Arunoth, and I got saddened immediately. My excitement actually turned into some kind of disappointment. But basically, to set the background, there has been a lot of interventions to empower women in Uganda, much as there is still claim that the women are not empowered, over 70% according to what Stella is telling us. But there has been a lot of interventions that government has deliberately put in place, ranging from the Paris Development Model, the Myoga, the youth livelihoods, which all aim at addressing the grassroots economic challenges, and then down to some of the gender responsive initiative, like we have heard of Uganda Women Entrepreneurship Program. And then this one that raised a lot of expectations is the GROW, which was appearing to be a beacon of hope until I learned about the conditions under which somebody will grow. It has now come to my attention that you actually don't grow without being grown up. So there is no growing. You must first grow before you get the grow loan, and that was very disappointing. Now, Uganda actually is only ranked second to Botswana in the whole world for the number of women who actually own businesses. So a research conducted by Innovation for Poverty Action, Gregory Fisher of the London School of Economics, and then Santa Maria of Harvard University, revealed that about 38.4% of the businesses in Uganda are actually owned by women, which to everyone, this is a landmark figure, which indicates a rising confidence and participation of women in enterprises. Although we're going to ask questions sometimes, but Uganda is only second to Botswana in the whole world for businesses owned by women, which is a very good figure for all of us. However, there is also a research that says that even those who own those businesses, ranging from the micro scale enterprises to small scale and then to medium scale enterprises. Of course, the Ministry of Trade, the Ministry of Trade and Cooperatives gave us a definition of what we call a micro scale. They gave us what we call a small scale and what is the medium scale. When you employ from 1 to 4, that is a micro enterprise, and your value, your net value, cannot exceed 10 million in a year. I mean, that is a micro scale enterprise. Then, if you can employ between 5 to 49 people, then your net value is somewhere between 10 million to 100 million, you're considered to be a small scale enterprise. Then medium employs more than from 50 to 100, and they have their value somewhere between 100 million to 360. That's according to their description. And the majority of the 38.4% of these women actually lies between the micro scale and the small scale. Now, but then those women only get 30% less profit compared to their male counterparts. Meaning, even when we have a woman and a man doing the same business or engaged in the same business, the woman ends up with getting 30% less profit compared to the man. The reasons they have not yet explained very well, and this is something that we need to explore. Why the women engaged in the same businesses as men end up getting lesser profit compared to the counterpart who are male? That is another question. And then, out of these women who are in business, who are capable of being suppliers, actually only 1% of these women businesses gets government contracts. This is also research by World Bank. So that means even the small businesses they hold there, they can be able to supply maybe schools, supply government, but the female people, only 1% of them actually get the contracts. And yet, these kind of supplies and procurements can actually boost any business. That means it puts women at a very, very, very disadvantaged position. And that is about business. Now, Joseph, the grow was something that raised our expectations only to receive a very negative feedback. And one of the challenges of the grow, let me now be very specific, which I've seen is one, the information is even lacking, as if it is being hidden from the public intentionally, so that only the few who have access to the information actually ends up with the knowledge and actually make any deliberate attempt to try to follow it up. And then what I've learned is even like for us in the public service, in fact, when you move through the schools and you ask the female teachers, how many have heard about GROW? People who are enlightened, people who have papers, people who are educated are also not having any serious information about GROW. That tells you how much the information about GROW has been hidden from a certain group of people. And yet those are the opportunities that these women can actually do to empower or to supplement the salaries that they get. And that makes a very stronger workforce. But the information is lacking from these people. Joseph, the question of sustainability of these businesses that the women's own. Yes, we are excited that we have 38.4% businesses in Uganda owned by women. But how sustainable? How long do they take? What is their lifespan of the businesses? Sometimes you find a woman is in business today, after 1 year, it's off. Another woman maybe can start another business, and after 1 year, 6 months, it's off. So the question of sustainability of this business are also very, very much important. And that should have been helped by the GROW project if it was not restricted. Now, Joseph, these commercial banks that has been trusted by government and the Ministry of Gender, Labor and Social Development to give these GROW loans to the women. What I read about GROW is that the conditions for getting the loan was actually left with the commercial banks, which makes the commercial banks become very, very exploitative. And that is what the communication specialist, Nansamba should be able to explain very well. Why is the condition for getting these loans upon the banks, and yet government is the one that has the money? Actually, the government receives over 217 million US dollars, which translates to somewhere between 795 billion to 806 billion Ugandan shillings. And this money has been distributed across those 6 commercial banks. And they're the one who set their conditions for how this woman is going to get the money. Now the question is, if you are setting a very tough condition like what the Honorable MP is saying, what happens when the money remains down in the bank? But this is a bank which is operating every day and people are getting loan. So supposing a bank, when I divide that by 6, maybe approximately around 100 billion to each bank. Imagine government has given 100 billion to each commercial bank, but they set a very, very difficult condition for getting the loans. So the 100 billion remains redundant. And yet this is a bank making money out of this. Imagine 100 billion put in a bank who is not giving it out because it has set a very tougher condition. Are we not enriching these commercial banks instead of enriching the very people for which World Bank actually gave the money? So this is a question of commercial banks actually setting their own condition was very, very unthoughtful. And there must be a condition that the value of your business must be lowered, because the issue is we want the women to grow. No, I don't grow from 4 million. When my business is already worth 4 million, I'm already somewhere. That is not somebody you want to grow. Now, somebody who operates on a business which is around, you see, these women are getting loans of 100,000 from these local money lenders. 100,000. Even a woman who gets a loan of 100,000, what if you decide to give her now? What do you think is the value of our business? The value of our business is somewhere also between 100 to 200. And then you're setting a very big condition. That is very bad. They should reduce it to maybe a value of 200,000 at most. And then they restrict on the amount of money somebody gets depending on the value of their business and their ability to pay based on the collateral. And the collateral, the securities must, this thing of titles and title land, because they said you can have titles or not having titles. But the condition must also be, must be lowered. We do not need that. And then you ask me about me as a man. I would encourage my wife to go and pick that money if conditions were very well. If conditions are not set by commercial banks, but set by Ministry of Gender. Okay? Because if this is a fracas, that is a game between Ministry of Gender and commercial banks, so that they get some money, and then the very people who are supposed to get the money is actually left out of this circle. It is something that the government has to explain very well. Otherwise, I would implore my woman to go and pick that loan. So that it depends on the as far as the question you ask is concerned. Omago, thank you very much. And I think I was very much excited only to be demoralized on the first words by the Honorable MP. But that is the
Thank
reality on
you.
the ground, because there is somebody who told me on WhatsApp the same issue. Do you know what he used? He said grow is a scam. That statement was so powerful. And then immediately after that, the Honorable MP is trying to confirm it. I wish the Ministry of Gender, through the communication specialist, clear the air and set the record clear. Thank you very much, Omago.
Thank you very much, Mr. Topacho Godfrey. And for the record, this X space, which is the Northern Baraza, is recorded, and you can re-listen to this, and then also you can share this with the people in your community, because we get very important people speaking here on the Northern Baraza. And of course, today we are looking at the GROW project. We have got the communication specialist on this very project from the Ministry of Gender with us. Madam Odira, I hope that you've taken note of some of the questions that have been raised. And also you heard from the communication from the Member of Parliament representing the people of Aru North, that's Honorable Santa Okot, listing the challenges, the shortfalls of the GROW project. Kindly speak to us and answer some of these questions. In case you are unable to, you can also tell us so that we will seek for more answers.
Okay, thank you so much, Joseph, and members on the call, and the speakers that have just given us very good insights on what is happening in northern Uganda. We appreciate it as Ministry of Gender and GROW Project. We appreciate all the feedback. We love hearing from the people, their experiences, and this helps us to improve on serving them better. I want to start from putting I want to start by giving the facts. First of all, the GROW project, as Honorable Santa put it, is a Government of Uganda project by the World Bank and implemented by two implementing entities, The Ministry of Gender, Labor and Social Development is the leading entity in the implementation of the GROW project. And we have another implementing entity called Private Sector Foundation Uganda. Each of the implementing entities have sections that they are leading on the project, or we could call them components of the project. And the component on GROW loan is being implemented by Private Sector Foundation Uganda, but we are all one GROW project. Honorable mentioned about the implementation period. It's true, the GROW project was approved by World Bank in 2002, but when World Bank approves a project, there are certain things that government has to prepare and have in place for it to be effective. So we have the time when it is approved, and then we have what we call effectiveness, when the project became effective. And that's when we start seeing government, that's the time when they sign the agreement and the government starts to implement the project. This project was approved by World Bank in 2022, but it became effective in January 2023. Okay? And after signing the contracts, then now the teams had to go into processes because you have to develop manuals on how you're going to implement the different elements project, where you're going to give grants, you have to develop manuals on grants. Where you're going to do infrastructure, you have to develop manuals on infrastructure, and then recruitment of staff. So we could say the implementation started in June 2023, and that's when the ministry was able to put in place a recruitment of staff, and also that's the time, to be very specific, in June 2023 is when Parliament approved the GROW project. Honorable can confirm that for us. That's when government approved the first funding for the GROW project. They were before PAC, and they confirmed that by the time the project got, they couldn't even implement anything in that financial year. It had to spill over to the next financial year of 2020-23, 2024. Coming down to the serious contentious issues that Honorable Stella has touched on, Honorable Court, and also Polymath. Number one, I want us to understand who is the target beneficiary of the GROW project. Stella said that the minister on the floor of Parliament crushed her when she said that the GROW project is for the rich women. I want to first take us back to the development of the GROW project. When this project was being developed, the biggest question that the World Bank had for government was, do you want to make this another livelihood project that you're already doing? Because World Bank did not want to put their money in something that is already being done by government. That will be duplication. They wanted to do something that is fresh. And the Polymath has done very well giving us the statistics of the status of a woman in business. While we see that there are so many businesses mushrooming in Uganda owned by women, also, their research showed, actually by MasterCard, showed that most of these businesses, actually 75%, do not get to see their first birthday. Meaning, in less than a year, a business that was started is no more. And they came up with, they did research and found out what are the challenges that are making women businesses not to thrive and not to grow. And therefore, they tasked government to ensure that the project that they come up with will, first of all, target women that already have businesses and have proven beyond doubt that they are willing to sustain their businesses and push them to grow. That is why, for you to benefit from GROW, your project must at least have your business must have been in existence for at least 1 year because we know that most businesses die off before they make 1 year. So if you've been able to sustain your project for at least 1 year, then you are a GROW beneficiary. The second characteristic of a GROW beneficiary is on the amount of money that you must have in your business. Honorable, I would like to correct you a bit on that. You said that the woman must have 4 million and above. The actual amount that a woman must have in their business, we call it an annual turnover of 10 million per year. So if we're looking at 10 million per year, if you divide that by 12 months, it means in a month, a woman should be able to prove that they have had 830,000 shillings in their business. That is less than 1 million. And the reason we put it at that is because we know that PDM, WEP, Emyoga, and these other livelihood projects are already giving women money of at least 1 million to start a business. So if you got money from PDM of 1 million and you started a business and you have been running this small business for consistently for a year, and you can prove that this business has been here for 1 year, then you are a GROW beneficiary. We are not looking for women who have businesses of 4 million and above. No, it is at 1 million in a month, and you have sustained it for 1 year, then you are a GROW beneficiary. I hope I have made that very clear. GROW is not what the minister was emphasizing in parliament. It is not a startup business, because what we have been seeing, most of the people, you know, asking us to, you know, you need to change the design and what, is that they want to make GROW another PDM, where any woman, whether they have a business or not, as long as they have their idea or their willingness to start a business, they should be given GROW money. That would be a duplication of OEP, Emyoga, and PDM, which World Bank said no to. As much as government probably would have wanted to add more money into PDM and Emyoga, they said, no, for us, we are looking for this woman who has taken a leaped from that level, that business, and she's now looking for ways of growing it from employing one person up to maybe 5 to 10 and above, just like Polymath explained to us the different levels of businesses. So that is the one we are targeting. And we pray that this message would reach every corner of this country, because it is implemented across the whole country. We want people to know who exactly are we targeting. We really we know that there's a lot of interest. Everyone is interested in this project or to get this money, because the financing that the GROW gives is very, very cheap. The interest rate that is given on a GROW loan is extremely cheap, that everyone would want to go for it. That's a lot of hype around it. Pretty much saying that we are enriching the banks. I want to say that that might not be completely true, because we were negotiating with commercial banks. First of all, the reason we went to commercial banks is people in Uganda don't want to pay back money. Yet this grant has a vision, and government has a vision, that at the end of GROW project period, this money would stay in government's pocket as a revolving fund for women. So that one who has not qualified today to get a GROW loan, in the next 2 years, when the colleague will have paid back the money, she will have point and is able to for that, and it will be available for her. But from experience, because we have lessons learned from OEP, from PM, yoga, youth livelihood, people do not want to pay back money, and government does not have the muscle to chase people around to pay back this money. So World Bank said, we are giving you this money, but it must be paid back. And the only way to ensure that is to give it out through through financial institutions. We started off with commercial banks, and we are in processes of having also SACCOs and microfinance institutions, especially for areas where these commercial banks do not have branches. So the reason the commercial banks were chosen is that they should ensure that they pay back this money. And the condition at which we gave them this money is that if we have given you 6 billion to distribute to the women, and you're going to lend it out at this percentage, because we negotiated the percentage with them and agreed that from the initially it was a maximum of 10.5%, but later cabinet gave a directive and said all the interest rates should be capped at 10%. So if we have given you this 6 billion, we don't care whether the women pay back or don't pay back. It's up to you to make sure that these women pay back the money. We want, as government, we want back 6 billion. That is it. So we transferred the whole risk of not having this money paid back to the banks. I hope, Polymath, you have understood the reason why we chose to work through the banks instead of having this money at the districts, just like we do with WEP and PDM at the sub-counties. This was the major reason, so that this money is paid back and other women can benefit from it. Or even the beneficiary that has paid back can go back and get a loan another round. The only challenge that we are still seeing, which Honorable Santa mentioned clearly, is that so far, the first tranche that we gave out, because we are releasing this money in tranches. We first give out the first tranche, the banks distribute the money, and then we have an audit firm, KPMG. They go audit the banks to find out, did you indeed give this money to micro and small scale women entrepreneurs? Did these women have the businesses? Were the businesses 1 year old? And then after that, KPMG comes back and writes a report and tells us, yes, it is true, all these women were in the category of the GROW beneficiaries. If there's anyone that is not or does not fall in that category, then the bank is tasked to pay back that money or give it to another rightful woman. Okay? So when the first batch was given out, we know that there was no control on regional distribution of the money, because GROW is a demand-driven project. This is one of the lessons we are learning, that while it is a demand-driven project, there are some areas where we need to put some effort to hold hands of these business women and walk this journey with them. So in Kampala, in the central region, actually, they came for this money so fast. And the statistics were showing that a bigger chunk of this money was remaining at the center, and very little of that money had been distributed in the different regions out of Kampala and Kampala Metropolitan. So what have we done going forward? We are about to release the second tranche of the GROW loan, because so far we have only released 10% of the total amount that we are supposed to loan out to the women. So as we release the second tranche, Cabinet gave us a directive and guided us that we should divide the country into 19 sub-regions. 19, not the usual regions, sub-regions that you know, but for us, we have our own GROW sub-regions that are 19 in number. And then they divide, we have a formula that we have divided this money, that each sub-region should have an equal allocation of their money, and it will sit in that area until the women, all of the women entrepreneurs wake up and borrow their money and finish it. In the central region, the moment they finish their allocation, then they wait for repayment. When the rest who have borrowed, that have started paying, because we are already 6 months into the loaning period, as they pay back, then other women will be able to borrow. I wanted to mention something about collateral. But I've already touched on collateral. It's important. One of the lessons we are learning, and we are that is pushing us to having circles and microfinance institutions, is that just like Honorable mentioned, most women do not own property. But when we were negotiating with banks, we asked them to allow even movable assets. Like, for example, a lady could be having a restaurant, and in their restaurants, they have tables, they have chairs, they have a fridge, they have all these assets. We agreed with the banks that they should be able to allow this woman borrow money using their movable items. That is one of the things that is allowed. And so far, it is only Centenary Bank that gives a collateral-free loan, but it is limited up to 5 million. Oh, I needed to confirm that this money we give starting from 4 million up to 200 million, depending on the size of your business and how much profit your business is making. Joseph, I don't want to turn this into a grow loan talk only, because we really want to shift people's mindsets from thinking that grow is all about the loans. As I mentioned, we have 4 different aspects that we are looking at. For example, you could have heard that we
Uh,
advertised for.
Odira,
Yes, please.
Odira,
Yes.
maybe before we reach there, allow me to first give the listeners a chance to ask other questions, and then we can now bring in that aspect. Then we talk about the way forward. How about that?
Okay, no problem.
Okay, fine. Thank you so much. And of course, at the Northern Baraza, we're talking about the Grow project. It's the shortfalls and then also the way forward. And right now, I'm going to give you a chance in case you want to ask a question on so far what has been discussed, the issues of the challenges, the identification of beneficiaries, who benefits, who doesn't, collateral, the issue of uh, people in the rural areas getting very little. Those ones who have expressed interest do not reach. But now we've actually had as little as about 800 something thousand. If your business is making that batch, let's say you're selling tomatoes at Gulu main market, and at the end of the day, at the end of the month, you're making around 800,000. Then you can actually qualify. It's not 4 million. Let's take a round of questions, and then we get back. For those who are interested in talking, just request to talk, and then I'll give you a chance. And then also for those who just want to write, you can actually just leave your comment down on this X space, and then you'll be able to ask questions, and then also in case of anything else, you can actually talk to us. I'm going to give a chance to Dr. Mungani to, in 2 minutes, talk to us your question or your opinion of this Grow project.
Well, Mr. Magor, thank you. You phoned me. I think if you had seen my tweets, I had just made the tweets about Northern Uganda. And I said, you people have an opportunity to grow because you're not messed up like Kampala. And the opportunity to grow is in
I am going to make it a point to talk to your
tweets. You have Lira City, you have Gulu City. Those are spots to spur growth. Now, when you look at, I was listening to the presentation, and it is depressing because you don't see how it spurs growth for Gulu City and Lira City. Challenge yourself that what are cities for? What are in the cities? I am telling you that simply because I am somebody who moved away from Uganda, from real poverty, from real rural area to a country that has 3.1 million people and has 947 cities. Now, when I mention 947 cities, it means that every person in that city can afford electricity, can afford water, can afford housing, which is more of a project of the state. And so you need infrastructure emphasized by government or by the central government, or whoever is going to grow those two cities to spark growth in northern Uganda. This small money for Nyanya, it just doesn't make sense at all. And what does it mean to grow in the cities? There are schools, there are universities, there are hospitals, there's everything that tells you you can grow. A man like me who left my country empty-handed, life has started because I found a country that runs. And you can't run countries when you're talking about World Bank loans. There's a way we need to own Uganda now and change around and have something that can grow Uganda locally. Because it's like when you borrow money from the World Bank, give it to poor people who can't pay, that money is just like a waste. When you listen to the conditionalities as she's speaking, you just hear, I mean, even me, I don't understand. Unless you have understood, you let me know. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'll get back to Polymath, and then I'll go to Stella, and then we shall round it off with Honorable Santa, and then we shall get back to Odira. In case you are able to type your question, just type it down here, and I'll be able to read. And of course, Oriam Kisinga is my co-host, but he is traveling. Whenever he is able to speak to us, I'll give him a chance. Polymath.
Thank you. I think there is something that I want her to clear very well is the issue of commercial banks. I'm actually not saying that they were not supposed to give the things to commercial banks. They did well to give it to commercial banks and then also to roll it down to SACCOs and other microfinances. But my question is, if the conditions are like that, there is going to be, like, if you commit 100 billion in the hands of a single commercial bank, and this 100 billion cannot be exploited fully by the supposed to be beneficiaries just because the conditions are tight, then at the end of the day, this money is not just going to be redone in this bank. These banks are giving it out as other of their business loans outside there. So at the end of the day, because the beneficiaries of these loans cannot get it because of the condition, the money is being used by the bank to generate profits, which we are not interested in knowing. So at the end of the day, how do the banks benefit apart from the small percentage that they get from this one? They are getting a lot of money which government has made deliberately to be redundant in their banks. Maybe there must be another intervention, or by trying to lower the conditions of this loan and still maintain its originality without any
Joseph, I can't hear.
duplication.
I don't know.
Okay. Anyone else having a challenge with hearing what Polymath is saying? Polymath, I could hear you. I could hear you. Maybe just summarize now. I'll repeat it for
Yeah,
Dira.
that is my aim, because the redundant money at the end of the day is going to be exploited to the benefit of these commercial banks. So the question is, either you stop committing a lot of money to these commercial banks and find avenues maybe of disbursing this money, or if you are committing it to the banks to avoid the banks actually making a kill out of it, then the conditions must be lowered. Let them go and revisit their conditions, maintain originality without duplications, but with a reduction in the conditions for this loan. Otherwise, we are enriching the banks for real. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Odira, Mr. Topacho Godfrey says you need to revisit the work with the banks so that it's much easier for the locals to access this money. Otherwise, he thinks that this money is more beneficial to the banks than to the local people. Stella, you're welcome. Kindly speak to us. Any questions so far? Maybe also in your submission, you can give us what you think are the best alternatives.
Well, thank you, Joseph. Thank you, my sister from Ministry of Gender, Labor and Social Development. Like most of the projects or government programs that we've had for the Wananchi, the lacuna that we've had for decades is on information
Oh, Stella,
dissemination.
Stella, let me just interject. Sorry. Odira, are you able to hear Stella?
Yes, I can hear her clearly.
Okay,
Yes,
thank you.
Udina, thank
Proceed.
you. Now, the challenge, the biggest challenge that we're having with GROW, like any other government program and that we've had in this country, is on information dissemination. How the intended information reaches wananchi is what we are facing today. I shared on my status whether the GROW project was meant for the vulnerable women, and a journalist came to my inbox stating that the project was meant for the women in business. And this misconstruction of information reached the RDCs, reached the leaders, and the same leaders shared the misconstruction or the misinformation to wananchi, and every woman was like, yes, we have got money this time. PDM, majority of us might not have access to PDM, but at least we have GROW. I also became a victim of this same circumstance. But because I love reading, I read GROW hurriedly, but still I did not understand, because a project like GROW needed thorough sensitization, thorough dissemination of information, right from grassroots levels to media. What we're doing today, we should have done it like yesterday or 2 years ago, or when GROW was still being rolled out to the community. But we have not done this. When a rural woman asks me about GROW, I totally have nothing to share with them. I feel I am half-baked. I feel we need more of this information. My appeal to Ministry of Gender is that, can we go back to the grassroots? Let's identify these women. Women own restaurants, and women are yearning for this kind of project to build or to economically empower them. The background is very beautiful, the objective is very beautiful, that it is the project is to enhance economic opportunities and productivity for women enterprises in Uganda. So who are these women owning enterprises in Uganda? Who are the target beneficiaries? Can we identify them? If my small fish or Wanjiri can make me get, you talked of a turnover of 10 million in a year, then am I not eligible to apply for the same? It's just that we have hurried to ask questions now. I would want to listen more regarding the other three components she's about to share. It appears what I applied for is not a loan component. It's some other component of a CBO and others. So
Okay.
it is something great. It's something wealthy that we need more information. Can we recruit people who can go deep down to the grassroots, sensitize women on how they can benefit from all these government programs? Even WEP, I'm a youth, I'm still youthful, but I've never benefited from youth livelihood program. I cannot even share the same to fellow youth because I don't understand it. I cannot even identify a single beneficiary of YLP. Neither can I identify a single beneficiary of Uganda Women Economic Empowerment Program by the government. I cannot, including PDM. Very few got. Those who've got the money vanished, they disappeared. So how are we going to follow up? How are we going to say so and so is a success story? So if GROW is to grow women irrespective of their economic capacities, then let us meaningfully grow women. From implementation
Oh,
to monitoring and evaluation. I'm patiently waiting to listen to you more and more, and really urging you to come down to the rural women, come down to women far away from Kampala and train us on how to become entrepreneurs or build enterprises in the local vicinity. Thank you.
thank you very much, Council Stella Kijange Lajiri. Let me just read something from Dr. Mungadi on X. She says that Nyanya story cannot spark growth in cities like Lira and Gulu. Electricity, water, housing, roads, and the internet, which we are using right now, are basic for growth. And thank you so much. That's coming in on X here. In case you are also unable to speak to us, but you just want to say something, you can write actually. Below there, there's that small icon showing a message. Just click on it, and then you'll be able to leave behind your message. And in turn, I will read. Kissinger, a lot has been said. I don't know from your side, are you able to speak to us now?
Hello, Joseph. Thank you so much for giving me this time. Yeah, I'm in position to speak because I'm having a stopover, so I can actually speak. Can I go
Okay,
ahead?
please. Yes, please.
All right. Thank you so much. I really appreciate everybody who has spoken and every concern that has been raised. Polymath raised a very, very important question. You see, in economics, we understand how money is used. When the government inject a lot of money and put it in the bank benefits. And also, in the processes of people acquiring that money, the bank benefits. So that means there are charges that
Again, I
actually,
can't hear Joseph.
but I can
Okay, so
hear
what
you.
I'm going to do, I'm going to try, yeah, maybe Kissinger, I'll just summarize, and then for me, I'll try to repeat for her.
Okay, so what I was saying is like, when you're applying for this money, you put in some money, because there are charges, okay? And then there are interest rates that you are charged on by the bank and also, by the project. So that means there is actually double taxation on that. Besides the fact that that money, which has been given to the government of Uganda, which is a loan, is actually raising money for the bank. That we should all agree that that happens. Now, besides that, my sister Stella stated very clearly that 75% of women in Uganda are most probably illiterate. Okay, that should have concerned the government. That some of these grants should have gone to actually empower the majority of the women who cannot, raise, cannot like raise probably maybe $1 a day. So how do you approach that? That could also be some question that maybe would interest us. Now, I actually looked through
Yeah.
the GROW project, and it has about like 4 components. When you look at the year that it started, and when you look at the pace that it is going, even the first component has not yet been completed. And now my sister is talking about moving to the next, phrase, because the first one is to support women, empower, and then enterprise development service. So you find that it gives us really a big challenge. How are some of these projects conceived? Do this project really go through like a thorough kind of like a research to understand that when we take this approach, people are going to benefit? We have seen a lot of government projects ever since we were young, right from 1992 there. The government has sunk a lot of money into the community. But trust me, does the government get back to ask that we sunk this amount of money in a Tandekwa? What happened? Has the people's life changed? We have sunk this amount of money in women livelihood. What has happened? And then you see, government keep putting money into the community, and it is not actually benefiting the majority of the people. Look at PDM. You are giving money to somebody who has not worked and received probably like a lump sum of 500,000, and you're giving 1 million, and people are dying because of PDM, because they think 1 million is a lot of money. I keep on telling people that, Joseph, I can never get rich by anticipating that you're going to help me with the money in your pocket. It is never going to happen. And this is the kind of a government that is trying to let people believe that things that are given to them will make them grow, and which is very wrong. So to me, I feel like anybody watch your approach for BB, ikarema award and electric dollar, ubibichero mado tiene ki kwon instead of madone ki bon. So it's more of like the government is just baiting people to let people believe that something is happening, yet there is nothing happening. So we need to be serious about people, and we need to be serious
Okay.
about grow, because this grow is not growing. If only maybe like about 3 or 4 women got it from Kitgum, how are we growing? And there are very good entrepreneur, women who are doing entrepreneurship, but they cannot access it because of the tediousness and the challenges that you get in the process of borrowing. So I think
Mm.
my biggest concern is, does the government really care about the impact of the money they borrow on behalf of Ugandans? Because we don't see the outcome.
Okay. All right. I think let me now relay that to Odira. I think Odira, the biggest concern from Kissinger is whether the government is actually caring that this money is being given to people and little is being seen as the end product. It's not changing people's lives. He tackled about the issue of the banks, but that I think was talked about by Polymath. But his is the government has had programs, Etandikwa, WEP, YLP, and so forth and so forth and so forth. And they have not even come back down to see that, hey, the money that we put down here, has it changed your lives? And then the other thing that he talked about is research. For you from the Ministry of Gender, have you taken time to research who needs this money? So I think maybe for now we have that. I have also a request to speak from Dr. Mungadi. I will give him a chance. Then I will also give a chance to Honorable Santa. Honorable, you've had a lot from Doctor. I'm going to give you a chance. Maybe we can start with Honorable. She has taken long without speaking, but I know she has been listening. A lot of questions being raised. It's also good that we have had gentlemen actually speaking, because this also indirectly affects them. Honorable, maybe you can now speak to us.
Thank you very much. I hope.
You, you,
I hope
you have you have 4 minutes.
do you hear me? I
Yes,
think.
I can hear you.
Thank you very much. I have heard from everyone who has spoken, and especially Nansamba. I would like to say briefly that the colleagues who have talked about research, sensitization, on all these programs that governments brings have spoken the truth. And I want to tell Minister of Gender who is here that that project of GROW is not going to benefit the women in northern Uganda. If you did the research very well, for now you can find out that poverty index in northern Uganda, especially Acholi sub-region, is up to 69 or 70%. So if you people were really concerned about that and wanted this to help the people, you should have done that research and got it clearly. As far as these other programs which I have already sent on the ground to women, I want to let you know, and so that you tell Minister of Gender, that this project has never uplifted any woman. UWEP, when a group of women apply for UWEP, it takes 3 years for one group to get the money, 1 full year. You have brought Imiyoga. The time you brought Imiyoga, you brought it in a rush. You just came and dumped in Imiyoga. Those who are welders, those who are market vendors, all of you per the district gathered together, training one day, the following day money was given. So you should not complain why people have not paid back the money, because you did not train them on what they are supposed to do. Now, some of these banks are coming to tell women about business plans, about record keeping in business. No woman knows anything about that. I have already told you that I put a lot of pressure on Centenary Bank to return the 10,000 which they collected from women to open up accounts. accounts where a woman has never opened an account before. She has no big business to put on that bank account. So I requested bank from the top leadership that they refund the money, because after opening the accounts, they kept the accounts for 7 months even without giving the account numbers. So what I would like to say in a nutshell is that this grow is for the rich women, like somebody had said it before, those whose business have already grown so high. You cannot expect a woman in the rural area to get 830,000 shillings in a business, even for a week, even a month. You cannot get this. So I am saying that because they did not train the women, they don't have any goodwill for all this. For example, PDM, you cannot give a woman PDM, the child has not gone to school, hospitals are so bad, no medicine, and you expect the woman to go on business using PDM when the child is dying. So they take the money to use. So I am saying that Ministry of Gender has got no goodwill for the women to develop really. That's my stake. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let me give a chance to Dr. Mungadi. After that, we shall give a chance to Dr. Henry Labeja. You each have 2 minutes.
Oh, well, I just, because I remember Nansamba saying she wasn't hearing, so I was just wondering if she had heard me. But I think, or somebody in the names of Riem must have almost summarized what I wanted to say. And Santa has also spoken to it. The issue is projecting. Do we project as we borrow this money? And my projection now lies on Lira and Gulu City as spurring growth in northern Uganda. There's going to be population movement to the cities. Are you planning with the rural women? Perhaps, for example, I buy tomatoes in supermarkets. So how are you helping these women? How are you planning to help? I mean, that growth must be spurred, connected to the cities. It's just not mentioning these rural women. The rural women actually struggle to do all these small things to take their children to school. So our schools are available, our schools are affordable, everything to deal with the city is away from a rural woman. And so if you keep mentioning these rural women and then you have told them, you have given them Gulu City, you have given them Lira City, it's just like wasting it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Doctor. Let's hear it from Dr. Labeja.
Thank you very much, Mr. Omago, and everyone who is for this podcast. For me personally, I share in the same mind with Honorable Santa. Because if you do like A-level biology, they say what makes the lion the king of the jungle and makes it very successful is forecast. Like personally, if you have to look at various government projects from Yoga of late, now PDM, now they're bringing this one, the government is not focused. What is the government interest? To me, the government is just appearing to be working, yet there is no work which is being done. You saw PDM, they're giving people 1 million. What is 1 million? People have been showing Museveni, the president, hotels and projects which are more than even 1 million. And you say you have done within 6 months, you can't attain all that. So let us sit back as the Ministry of Gender or the relevant authorities and we think of present things. It's like we are using all solutions for the present problems. Thank you for now.
Thank you very much. I will now first extend my appreciation to Henry Douglas Okwi, who is always designing the posters for the Northern Baraza. And of course, we are always here at 8 p.m. on Thursdays. Occasionally, we plan to have physical ones. We did that about 2 weeks ago with Major General Felix Busisori, the 4th Division Commander, when he was talking about issues of upper land. And I think that was well appreciated by everybody who attended it physically. So maybe going forward, we shall have 1 or 2 days in a month and we sit down. Odira, a lot has been said. Some of them have been repeated. I know you've taken notes. Please handle them and then now transition us to the next thing, and that is the other component of GROW. And then we will round it up with the issue of the way forward. Then now we can call it a night. we shall have the next about 34 minutes to ourselves to handle everything. You're welcome. So maybe let's give her a minute so she can, if she is far away from her mic, then she can get back on. In the meantime, of course, the issue here has been information reaching the local people has not, it has not been enough. And of course, I think there needs to be a way that information reaches down to the people who are meant to benefit from this grow project. Then also, the other issue is the issue of the bank. I think is raising a lot of questions. I think that also has to be re-looked into. Maybe now the beneficiaries, because looks like so far people are complaining
Oh
this
my
is
God,
meant
now
for
even
only.
you, I can't hear you. Are you able to hear me?
I can hear you very well. I don't know. Maybe you just have to restart. Let's give her a minute to try and rejoin and see if it will be better. I think maybe that could be a network issue because we can hear her. I think it started from the side of Kissinger when he started talking. Otherwise, Kissinger, a lot has been said, and I know you've been following. I know. Are you back on the road?
No. I'm okay. I can speak.
Yes.
Now I can
Okay.
hear. Now I can hear.
Okay.
Oh, you can
Welcome
hear
back. Okay. So I was actually saying that a lot has been raised, a lot of questions. I know you've taken up most of them, some of them were repeated. And the issue of information reaching the last mile person has come up.
Yes.
Then the issue of the banks has repeatedly come up. Actually, Kissinger said grow is not growing. Please handle that, and then also question us to the other aspects of the grow project. And then we want to try and utilize time. We only have 29 minutes. Maybe you can use the next 5 minutes to do give feedback on the questions that were raised, and then also transition us to the other aspects.
Thank you so much. From what I can, okay, the little you've briefed me on, I think the biggest question that we have right now is on communication and sensitizing the women. They target women to know what is required for them to access the services. And I agree with them, and we are up to the task. We are about to start a 3-month communications campaign, and I am hopeful that we'll be able to change the story. I want Polymath to remain excited. Grow is a very well thought out and good concept. And once people understand it and support the women that are actually supposed to benefit from this project, it's going to change a lot. I really want to dive into the other aspects that the Grow project is supporting. And Honorable Sarah mentioned that she applied for one. So we have had 3 adverts that have gone out so far. One is on the component of essential skills or entrepreneurship skills. Here, research showed that most women are unable to do bookkeeping. They don't know how to market their businesses. They don't know how to handle their clients. They all that. There are about 10 concepts that we sat down with Makerere University Business School. They did research with the women to find out their needs and developed a course. We call it a core course for women entrepreneurs that would help them turn around their businesses in terms of marketing it, in terms of bookkeeping. And indeed, bookkeeping is a big issue because most of the women that the banks have turned down from accessing loans is because they don't have anything to support them. Even when they claim their business has been existing for 5 years, they have now records. They can't show their income, their expenditure. There's completely nothing as basic as just income and expenditure. So we want to reach out to these women from their setting. We are not going to ask them to come to Makere. The trainers in from Moves and Enterprise Uganda and other trainers that applied will go down to the grassroots and meet these women from their sub-counties and take them through the basics of how to manage their businesses and grow it. So we had an advert out and we asked women that have businesses to apply for this training. The advert has been out for the last 2 months and it ends on 30th of this month. And so far we have received so many applications from all over the country. They could apply online or they could go to the district and the focal person will grow at the district or city or municipality would help them apply. It's a very simple form that they fill. And so far, the results are encouraging. This is going to be the first phase. Then we will have a second phase as we move forward. But we will start with this first cohort of applicants. The second thing that we are doing under the GROW is to look at these women entrepreneurs that need hands-on skills. And we are calling this work placement or apprenticeship training. So with this, for example, if there's a woman that has a restaurant, a small restaurant in Gulu, she could apply. Boma, we would enter into an agreement with Boma Hotel, and this woman would we place her at Boma Hotel for maybe a week or 2 or 3, and she will go there at her convenience and learn how Boma is managing their business, how Boma is treating clients, how they are doing the different dishes, how she can do better in her restaurant. And then she will get those practical skills, come and apply them in her restaurant. That is the second category of skills. Then we have what we call the business competition grants. A grant is not paid back. This is what, for me, the public should be excited about. Not the loan, because the loan you have to pay back and pay it back with a small interest. But a grant is not paid back. So we are going to give grants to women ranging from 7 million to around 170 million. And this money is going to go to women in businesses. First of all, women that have managed to break into businesses which are male dominated. For example, in construction, welding, mechanics, those business where people know that it is men who do that. Like Polymath mentioned that a woman can be doing a similar business that a man is doing, but she will be paid less or she will earn less interest from her business compared to the man. So we are trying to look out for such women that have the resilience and have decided to penetrate into these business. And these are the businesses that have earned higher profits. So such women will definitely get the GROW grants. And then the second category is for women that are doing unique businesses. Unique businesses. For example, there's a lady I interacted with. I keep talking to my colleagues that I really love this lady's concept. She's producing manure out of, okay, is it called rearing? I don't know if it's rearing or keeping, but she keeps out maggots and then processes them. There's a way she does the processing and produces manure, which is environmentally friendly, but also very, very good for our crops. Now, that is a woman that is a notch higher. She's very enterprising and she's looking up for something which is very unique. So there's no reason for such a woman not to get a grant. So we are looking out for such innovative ideas that are beyond the restaurant, the saloon, the whatever, these other businesses that every woman is running for. And then also people that are into something that is environmentally friendly. Then there is an aspect that Honorable Sarah mentioned, which she applied for. We call it gender inclusive infrastructure grants. Also, these monies that we will give out will not be paid back. But this one, this time, goes into putting up an infrastructure okay, you already have an existing infrastructure which is supporting women. I'll give you an example. You could be having, let me see, a milling machine in your community. But this milling machine, you have intentions of expanding it, and you have storage where women can bring their produce, store it safely. There you're solving a problem of post-harvest and maybe aflatoxins. And then after storage, you want probably to add machines and be able to process that maize and then package it very well. And then after packaging, the woman will just leave your store with a well-packaged maize flour and go and sell it out. So if someone already has that existing kind of infrastructure, they would come. They applied actually. We had an advert out that ran for 1.5 months, and people applied. CBOs, faith-based organizations, NGOs, government institutions, or even we could say there's a market, maybe like Guru Market. We know there are so many women that are in that market with babies. Do they have a facility where when a baby sleeps, they can go and rest? Do they have a child care center at that market? So if it's not there, then Guru Market would apply that we give them a grant to put up a child care facility. So that kind of setup of support, and that's the one I think Honorable was mentioning, which she applied for. But we also have where we have taken it a notch higher, and we are looking at common user production facilities. And these ones are quite big, and we partnered with government institutions for purposes of sustainability when the project has crossed. For example, we have signed an MOU with Makerere University Food Technology Department. They already have a facility where people bring their raw material, process, and then package. This is more of agriculture. So we are going to help them expand that facility, and then they allow women to bring their products, and they only charge them a very small fee, a user fee, for processing for them and maybe packaging. And then they'll be able to use that facility at a cheaper cost. Because if the women were to go and buy these materials, put up infrastructure, and then process, it would be extremely expensive for them. But if they have the idea and the willingness, they learn how they are going to market their product, then they can come to this facility, process their raw materials, and then go out and market and sell them. So majorly, we have the question of communication came out very strongly. And one of the major components that we are looking at is on mobilization of women. Mindset change. Actually, Honorable talked about it. Mindset change. Now, we are partnering with the best of the best. You all know about Care Uganda. We have signed a contract with them. You know about ONET. We have signed a contract with them. There's another association of women. It's called Uganda Women Entrepreneurs Association. We have also signed a contract with them. And we have another, we are in the process of recruiting another one that is mainly based in the northern region. And these are going to help us to run around the whole country, communicating who is the target audience of GROW, bringing women together into groups. We know that women are in groups, but most of them are savings groups. So we are looking at how we can leverage on these groups to pass on our information to these women, help them, those who are in business, to come up into a platform which is mainly for sharing information, learning from each other, mentoring each other, and growing together instead of growing as an individual. Because if they keep working as an individual, there's a saying that if you walk alone, you walk far, you walk fast. But if you walk as a
You are
group,
faster.
yeah, you walk faster. But if you walk as a group, then you go far because you have that support. When one gets tired, the other ones are able to lift them up. So we are leveraging on that understanding, and we are bringing the women together into these platforms to be able to learn from each other. This information, you can get it from the district on how to join these platforms. We have focal persons at every district and every city and municipality, and even settlements for the refugees. So the moment you go there, you ask, they'll be able to avail you some of this information. But we are here. We are going to work with you all. In case you need any information, please reach out to us. We have a toll-free number. I'm going to, can I give it out now?
Yes, please, you can go ahead.
Yes. Our toll-free number is 0800 30 777. You call us during any working hours. We are available on Twitter. We are there on LinkedIn. We are there on TikTok. Just send us any question, any inquiries. Please, we are here to give you as much information as possible because we know that you're the people who are going to help us reach out this message to the women. Thank you so much, Joseph.
Thank you so much, Odira.
Yes.
And of course, the Northern Brother is also here. We also give a platform for you to reach out to these people.
Yes.
So as you're thinking about Northern Uganda, we are here. Honorable Santa Okot, maybe now, since we're coming towards the end, you give us your final thoughts on what the government can do better when it comes to these kind of programs that are meant to alleviate the people from poverty and also increase the standard of living among our people here in Northern Uganda. What can be done better?
I don't have much to say. I want to thank the speaker who made this second program, who explained about this second program. I only want to repeat just one thing: dissemination of information. Now you are talking about advertisement, and people have picked forms and this and that. That's how they will mix up things. Because I don't know why you fear going into the community and inducting them when you are seated together with the women. If you put things online, no woman will get that. Some of them don't have even laptops or computers and so forth. So me, I still want to inform Minister of Gender that as long as you are still hanging up there by bunching information, throwing it on the people, they will not be able to succeed. Not majority will, but only few who already know things, who are rich, who can manage, who have got access. Those are the only ones who can find. Already these grants, you have not explained it to the people. You have not succeeded in the first one. You are running to the second one. Then you will run to the third. For me, I see that this GROW project is not going to help majority of the people. It will help only women who have already. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Polymath, you have your hand up. Please speak to us.
Okay, thank you very much, Joseph. I want to thank the panelists. I want to thank Honorable Santa, and I want to give her courage. Let's have the hope. Let's give that benefit of doubt, because I know this is going to shape some research that I are going to continuously do, and then something should be able to happen differently that encourages more people to get to that. Thank you very much, Nansamba. Now, I have two concerns. The GROW protocol says that you only have to get it as an individual. And yet now, I've seen women who are always in groups, like you see the GROW groups, women selling pineapple, people involved in selling rice, like in Pabo, I've seen them, people, women owning catering groups. Why don't you extend services to women who, as an individual, cannot access this program because of the conditions, but as a group now, their value, their turnover increases, and then they should be able to now even have the cholesterols you talked about, they can access it as a catering group. There are very many catering group, women group in Chulu sub-region here who can access that loan as a group, but not as an individual. So maybe let you extend it to groups that are very organized and have a proof that they are existing as a group. Then this is something a bit outside, and I think it is also very important as Minister for Gender, Labor and Social Development, like I earlier brought in the question of women growing in business. Over 38%, 38.4% of businesses in Uganda are now owned by women. And we drew a lot of excitement out of that. We said, yeah, and we are second in the whole world. And we are very much excited, but as if we are also trying to ignore the elephant in the room. There is an elephant in the room, which I think, and I want everybody to think along. Could the growing numbers of women businesses, is it really down to the women's empowerment, or it is down to certain other societal issues like the increase in the number of single motherhood? Single women rate is increasing, so they find that they must react, they must now do something on their own, and they end up establishing businesses which unfortunately do not last to see their birthdays. Is there any relationship that exists between the increasing number of businesses owned by women to actually the increasing number of single mothers in the country? Because we could be excited that we are having a progress when actually the very fabric of our society, which is a family, is actually under threat. So I want the Minister of just Labor, Social Development to do this, help us also. Let us also do this research. I think it is very important. I'm seeing here the development advocates, I'm seeing here civil societies, I'm seeing politicians, and seeing you as Minister of Gender. This relationship should be studied very well. The increase in women businesses, yes, brings excitement, but is it not really down to other societal issues, which is itself detrimental to the fabrics of our society? Thank you
Oh,
very much.
thank you very much. Stella, in a minute, as you sign out and way forward.
Yeah, thank you very much, my sister Nansamba Odira from Ministry of Gender, Labor and Social Development. Thank you, Honorable Santa Okot. Thank you, Joseph, and all the panelists who are available tonight. I am so happy that at least Nansamba was able to highlight the 4 components. But my issue is on the timeline. You see, if the project is not well planned for with clear objectives on what to do, when, and how, and then the entire population will be confused. For example, I applied for the Gender Inclusive Infrastructure Grant, but there was also information on the loan ongoing. So sincerely speaking, the population will get confused. They will not get the right information that is beneficial to all of them. So I appeal to Ministry of Gender, especially under this GROW project, that for the project to be successful, for the project to grow the intended beneficiaries, so that the intended beneficiaries realize a multiplier effect of growing other women, let's plan accordingly. Let's have defined goals that are achievable, that are realistic, and can be measurable within a given period of time. Secondly, we should have also strong collaboration and partnerships. My sister, I'm the Minister for Gender and Youth at KQuad, actually. Can we identify cultural institutions that can also work with women and youth to realize this kind of project that you're trying to roll out to the community? Because sometimes when you go to a community, the community would want the cultural institution to be part and parcel of it. The community would wish that at least their leaders should be part and parcel of this. You made mention of other organizations like UONET, CARE, that are there to conduct the mindset change. But are we sure that the community is willing to receive them? Or they will take them as any other NGO? So while identifying the kind of people to do the mindset change, let's have the ownership of this project. if it's in Gulu, who are these change makers? Who are these people who can speak and the people and our people believe or own the project? This is what we should identify. So let it be a kind of coordination that encompasses other partners, not only limited to selected NGOs that you have contracts with. And then capacity building. Let it be continuous. Let it not be enough. Like, personally, there was no capacity building as to how I can apply for these projects. But if you've been a member of a civil society organization, you've seen proposals before, some of us have applied for some. So we see this as a walkover. What about this woman, like you stated before, a woman in Gulu Market who would wish also to benefit from the gender inclusive infrastructure grant by the government? How will she apply? So capacity building should be ongoing. And if my opinion is, let's have these projects enrolled one at a time. If it is loan ongoing, can we have loan for 3 months? If it's this other one, the fourth one you talked of, gender inclusive, can we have that also happening? If it's the unique business you're mentioning, let's have that. Because the mix-up of all these will confuse these women, and the few elites, the women who are empowered by nature, are not willing to empower other vulnerable women who would also benefit from GROW project in the future. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you very much, Honorable Council Stella Kijange, Member of Parliament, aspirant for Nwoya County. Let's now, Kissinger, in case you are able to kindly speak to us in a minute in your parting shots. Okay, please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you so much. 1 minute is very little, so I'm going to be so fast as always. The government should understand that giving money is not going to be a solution to any problem in the community. Money is supposed to be worked for. People should be encouraged to work instead of government punching money all the time. And there is a mindset already that the government give free money, and this is what is ruining education, because people think UPE is free. Nobody wants to put money in everything just because of the mindset the government has actually put in people. Secondly, let us research. We cannot go ahead and start, putting a lot of money in the community without assessing the impact of what has already been done in the community. What are the lessons learned? Is it going to improve the life of the, of the members? Because the government is borrowing money, honestly. You borrow money, you put it in a project that doesn't work, and then you go ahead to borrow another money to put in another project that doesn't work. Do they really care? Do they really care about how this money is going to be put back? That is my other concern. The government went ahead and said most of these groups should go into SACCO. There are very many SACCO groups that has been formed. Why is the government putting money in the bank again when the SACCO group has been formed in the community? And they are nearer, and the processes of people getting the money is actually easier to them than when they go to the bank, where you need collateral, you need a number of things. When money is put in this group, they know how to trace and make sure that this money get to, to do the real work. For me, I feel sometimes the government should be very embarrassed to come and say we are trying to improve people's life when actually so many programs has really collapsed. Right from 1992, when I was a small boy, up to now, the government, all the program collapsed. Count it, Emioga, Guam. You name any project that the government has really put in, it has collapsed. Can't the government think of a better approach to make sure that this money is going to have an impact in the life of the people that they are protecting? So sometimes when this money is being said that another phrase is being entered to and there is election, the mindset of people. They will start saying, hey, so they are now giving us money again. And that is why most of this money that is given towards election, people eat and they don't actually They don't pay back. And let me tell you, there are certain pronouncements that are also made by the head of states. Said, oh, you don't disturb my people. Let them pay another time. Loan the government has borrowed loan and let my people seriously. So ideally, we have politicized Uganda to a level that we cannot really see that we need to move out of this poverty. So let us also think about how we can genuinely uplift people out of this serious poverty in the north. I like the way Mama Honorable Santa has been speaking. Now let us put this to work. Okay, even in Parliament, Honorable Santa, do not accept this kind of project that multiplies like maggots. They are coming, but they are not having any impact. Let them first assess. Let them approve. Let them prove to the Parliament that this program has succeeded before another program is born. You know, it is like that, because we cannot keep on borrowing and injecting the money in something that we cannot get anything out of. I could have sound ruthless, but I think the purpose of borrowing is to improve people's life. We can't borrow just for borrowing. So that is where my disappointment is. My sister, the communications together to improve people's life in the community. Today, I was right far away in the border around Lukung, and when you see the women there, they don't live like they're in Uganda. They live like they're in a government of poverty. How do we improve their life? You know? So when you are sitting in Kampala, try to look at the last person who has 10 children, never went to school. The health center is almost 5 kilometers away. The school is 10 kilometers away. That kind of thinking should be on the mind of a person who is actually thinking of changing people's life. The moment you put yourself in the shoes of such a person, things are going to change. Let us just not talk change. Let us feel change. Let us have love for people. Let us love people, love our country. Things will change. That is what I want to say, my brother. Thank you.
As we wait for Joseph to come back, probably I could be responding to a few things. Number one, I want to make it crystal clear that the GROW project is funded with a grant from World Bank. It's not a loan, just like most of the government projects are. This is a grant that World Bank extended to government and gave us clear terms on how to implement it, how to use it, and later have this finance remain as a revolving fund for the women in business to keep borrowing from and improving their life. Secondly, I wanted to speak to the women being in so many circles and why we are not allowing them to borrow as a group. We already have the projects that are existing are allowing women to borrow as in a group, like your group becomes your security. This time we are looking for this woman. There's this description the Euros give of when the fish are all in one pond, and there's another pond on the side which is empty, like it is not yet discovered. But the fish that is able to take a risk and jump out of this clique and fall into the other pond gets to enjoy more of whatever lies on the other side. So we are looking out for this woman who is ready to take steps as an individual and be able to grow her business instead of remaining leaning on the group, because as a group there's where it stops. There's a